Good afternoon and welcome to Ben's Ramblings, recipes, reviews, and ramblings. Today we're going to do some easy ribs. I'm going to take them from frozen, cut the rack in half, put salt on one, put my rub on the other half, vacuum seal them, and then into the sous vide they're going to go at 152 degrees for 24 hours. We're going to take them out of the sous vide, cool them off, throw them on the grill, and put some barbecue sauce on. They are the best ribs without having to deal with the smoker. Super easy. Let's get started. First thing, we gotta cut this rack of ribs in half. They're frozen. I'll probably only be able to cut about halfway through it and I'll just break it the rest of the way. So I'll just pick a point that's between, try to get between the bones, about halfway through across. And I'm just going to push down as much as I can with the knife. I might be able to cut all the way through these today. Yeah, there we go. So let's start with the seasoning first. I'm going to do this small one. Just going to put some salt on. This one's going to be real simple. And yeah, they're frozen, but they're going to cook for 24 hours. So this salt will get into the meat. Something else to note, because these are frozen, I wasn't able to pull the membrane off the bottom. But that's okay. Once they cook in the sous vide, that membrane basically falls apart. I'll normally just take the spoon and scrape off the membrane when I take them out of the vacuum bags, and then throw a little more salt or rub on them before I put them on the grill. All right, so this is gonna go right into a vacuum seal bag. And now let's put some of my rub on this other set. And I'm going to do a pretty decent coating of this. And I'll just press it on because it is frozen, but the moisture will allow it to stick. All right. Put this one in the vacuum bag. And I'm just going to vacuum seal these. All right, the ribs are vacuum sealed. We're going to throw them in a pot of boiling water. And the reason we're doing this is that for long cooks, you can sometimes have bacteria on the surface of the meat, which in a long cook will make the bag inflate. It's not a problem to eat. It can sometimes give an off-putting smell. So we're going to throw them in boiling water. That will kill any chance of that bacteria growing. We're just going to do it for about a minute. We'll throw them in the pot, leave them there for a minute, and then we'll throw them in the sous vide. All right, we're going to take them out now. And you can see the meat's just a little bit gray. That's just the outside. Totally fine. This one obviously has the rub, so you're not going to see that same grayness. Okay, I'm going to take these, put them in the sous vide. The sous vide is set to 152 degrees, and they're going to cook for 24 hours at that temperature. The big thing with sous vide is you want to make sure they're not laying on top of each other. You want to leave some space in between. Here they are in the sous vide. And you can see here the sous vide is set to 24 hours. Set temp is 152 degrees, and right now they're at 150. They may drop a little bit. You can see they're kind of sitting on the bottom. If you have a rack, you can do that to kind of keep them standing up, and that way they cook evenly. What I'll do is every few hours, I'll just come in here, turn them over. If they happen to start to float, then I will put a weight on top, either a pan or a cast iron pot, just to keep them from floating up to the surface. So the other thing I'm going to do is, we have it in a cooler. That'll help with heat retention. It will make the sous vide device not work as hard. I'm also going to cover it with tin foil. And the reason for that is to prevent the liquid, the water, from evaporating. And a lot of times on long cooks, if you don't put a cover on, or if you don't have another kind of container where there is a cover, and they do make sous vide specific containers, which have room to place the sous vide device, if you don't put a cover on it, that water can evaporate. Your sous vide will hit a low water point and shut itself off, and you could have all your food ruined overnight. So we're going to put it in here. put the tin foil on, make sure that the water doesn't evaporate. I'll close this lid as much as it can, and we'll be back in 24 hours to open these up, see how they look, and throw them on the grill. I just took the ribs out of the sous vide. I'm gonna take them and throw them in some cold water and get them to cool down quickly, and then I'm gonna put them in the fridge. Tomorrow night we're gonna have them for dinner. I'll take them out of the fridge, take them out of the bag, scrape the membrane off, then we'll put them on the grill and we'll baste them with barbecue sauce. This is what the ribs look like as they came out of the water. And you can see all that juice in there. That's why they stay so moist. It's the next night. The ribs just came out of the fridge and I just took them out of the vacuum seal bags. The one on the left has the rub, the one on the right has the salt. I'm gonna flip them over and scrape off the membrane. Then we're gonna go out to the grill, put them on by themselves for a few minutes, and then start basting them with barbecue sauce. All right, I'm just gonna flip these over and scrape the membrane off the back since we couldn't take it off before we put them in the sous vide because it was frozen. Just kind of see it here, the membrane's coming off. You don't have to get it all off, it's gonna kind of burn up on the grill too. All right, that's it, I'm gonna go put them on the grill. The grill's up to temperature. I'm gonna open it up and put the ribs on for a minute or two just to dry them off. And then we'll start basting them with the barbecue sauce. All right, they've been going for a minute. I'm gonna flip them over and we'll start basting with sauce. My wife is just getting Sweet Baby Ray's honey barbecue. And I'm just gonna brush it on with a basting brush. And on mine, I'm using the honey chipotle. So there they are, they're both basted. We'll just close the lid for a little while. I flipped them over, we're gonna put some barbecue sauce on the other side now. It's a little piece of meat that pulled over when I pulled them and flipped them. These are gonna be so good, I cannot wait. And these are fully cooked, so basically at this point we're just trying to crisp them up a little bit, which is why we did it dry at first, and then get this glaze, this barbecue sauce to turn into a nice glaze, thicken up. All right, let's close the lid again. All right, let's take a look, see how they're doing. Those are looking good. I'll give them a flip in a minute. We'll throw some barbecue sauce on the backside and maybe one more flip and they'll be off the grill. All right, they are ready to come off. Let's take a look. Oh, those look good. All right, let's get the sweet ones off first. And now we'll get the spicy ones. All right, I'll see you inside after we cut them. Right. Here we go. They look fantastic. Let's see how they taste. So tender. Let me show you how tender this meat is. Right.
It's really tender.
Falls right off the bone. If you have a sous vide, give these a try. If you don't have a sous vide, I have a link to the one down below that I have in the description. It's about 80 bucks normally on Amazon. They run sales for about 65. It makes cooking something so easy. These ribs are fantastic. Yeah, they're great on the smoker. If you try these and don't have a smoker, you'll never want ribs another way. You'll never go to another restaurant. You know, they're fantastic. Thanks a lot. If you like this recipe, please give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, please subscribe to see more recipes like this, and ring that bell to get notifications. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
I ring the bell! I ring the bell! I ring the bell!
This is Life with a 3-year-old.